All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something that happens after almost every car accident, but most people don't even know it's a thing. It's a hidden cost, and we're going to explain exactly how you can get that money back if you're a driver in Kansas.
So picture this. You've been in a wreck. It wasn't your fault. You did everything right. You took your car to a top-notch body shop. The repairs look absolutely perfect. And the other guy's insurance paid for it all. You're whole again, right? Well, maybe not.
See, even when your car looks and drives like it just rolled off the lot, there's this invisible financial hit that follows it around. It's a hidden cost that you won't notice until the day you go to sell or trade it in. And here's the thing. The problem isn't the repair job. It could be flawless. The problem is the accident history. Any smart buyer is going to pull a vehicle history report, see that accident, and immediately offer you less money. That loss? That's real cash out of your pocket. Okay, so what do we actually call this loss in value? Well, it has a name, and it's called diminished value. Understanding what it is exactly is the first step to getting your money back. To put it simply, diminished value, or DV for short, is the difference in your car's market value from the second before the crash to the second after it's been repaired. It's the value that vanishes just because the car now has a story to tell, an accident history. Now, technically, there are three types. There's immediate DV, right after the crash, and repair-related DV if the body shop does a bad job. But the one we're really focused on, the one that affects almost everyone, is inherent diminished value. That's the automatic drop in value just because, on paper, your car is no longer accident-free.
So that leads us to the million-dollar question, or, the few $1,000 question. Can you actually get this money back here in Kansas? Let's break down the rules.
This is what it all comes down to, isn't it? Does Kansas law actually let you go after this lost value? The answer is yes, absolutely. But, and this is a huge but, it depends entirely on who you're claiming it from. Okay, this is probably the most important slide of this whole explainer. In Kansas, you absolutely can file a diminished value claim against the insurance company of the driver who hit you. That's called a third-party claim. What you cannot do is claim it from your own insurance policy. That's a first-party claim, and it's a no-go. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The Kansas Insurance Department puts it in black and white for everyone to see. Their official stance is that diminished value will never be considered on first-party claims. So, long story short, if you were at fault, you're out of luck. If the other driver was at fault, you're in the game. All right, so you've confirmed the accident wasn't your fault. You're ready to make a claim against the other driver's policy. So what's the game plan? How do you actually do this? Let's walk through it step by step. Here's your roadmap. First, double-check you're making that third-party claim. Then, you gather all your paperwork, the crash report, photos, repair bills, everything. Step 3 is the big one. Get a professional appraisal. That's your proof. With that in hand, you send a formal demand letter, you negotiate, and if they don't want to play fair, you have options to escalate. Okay, let's pause on that third step for a second, because this is where these claims are won or lost. You can't just walk in and say, I think my car is worth less. You have to prove it with cold, hard facts. So to build a rock-solid case, here's what you need. The official crash report, photos of the damage and repairs, and that final detailed repair invoice. But the absolute king of your evidence, the piece that puts an exact dollar amount on your loss, is a professional, independent appraisal. So why is that appraisal so important? Because it's what the courts in Kansas call competent evidence. That's the standard they look for. Think about it. An insurance adjuster can argue with your opinion all day long. It is much, much harder for them to argue with a detailed, data-driven report from a certified expert. Okay, you're ready to get your evidence together. But before you start, there are two last really critical things you gotta know. First, how much time you have to file, and second, what to do if the insurance company decides to play hardball. And this one is a big deal. In Kansas, you have a 2-year statute of limitations for property damage. That includes your diminished value claim. That means the clock starts ticking the day of the accident. You can't sit on this. If you miss that 2-year window, you get nothing. So what happens when you do everything right, you send in your claim, your professional appraisal, and the insurance adjuster just ignores you, or they come back with some ridiculously low offer? Are you stuck? No way. You have leverage. Meet your best friend in this fight, Kansas Small Claims Court. You can sue for up to $10,000 here. It's a fantastic tool because it's designed for regular people. You don't need a lawyer, it's fast,
And just filing the case often forces the insurance company to take your claim seriously and offer a fair settlement.
So there you have it. You know what diminished value is, you know you can claim it in Kansas if you weren't at fault, and now you have a step-by-step plan to actually get it done. The only question left is, are you ready to go get the money that's rightfully yours?